This model kit review is of the Sukhoi 22, and it is a 1/48 scale model by KP Models, and it's made in Czech Republic. Here's the same artist impression. And I don't see any other pictures there, so let's have a look inside. We'll have a look at that in a little bit. Let's have a look at these sprues here. So we have some recessed lines, fair level of detail here on our under parts, as well as the fuel tanks and weapon systems. Here we have our fuselage with our air brakes and our recessed panel and rivet lines. And this part's about to come off here. And we have our wheels with some detail there on that side, part of our engine exhaust, our air brakes, and looks like we have some parts maybe for the inside of the fuselage, some of the bulkheads, and our nose landing gear. We have one single part here, probably part of the engine air intake. Here are our canopy parts and instrument panel with a fair level of detail there. Looking here at our wings, really are a good quality here. These wings sweep back. Lots of nice surface detail there. And there's our wheel well. And here's our tail, also with some nice surface detail. Got a fair amount of detail, interesting enough, in our rocket pods here. It's kind of unusual. There's also some nice detail in our stabilizer, and then all the different pylons and some additional weapons. We have some loose parts in here. Looks like our nose wheel well, part of the ejection seat, another rocket pod, and part of the nose gear. Let's have a look over here at our instructions and decals. Here are the decals. These really are a tremendous amount of detail. Lots of good options here. And let's have a look at our instruction guide. So here's some of the details about the plane. And the colors needed. And we start off with our weapon systems. It's an interesting way to start. And then our air intake and cockpit. And then we put together the parts inside the fuselage with the air brakes and the exhaust. And we put wings on there, and our tail stabilizer, and our canopy. And here's our decal guide, which is very interesting. I'm going to look at it this way. Let's see if all these details are showing through. There's the there you go, that's probably a better view. The paper's quite thin. You can see all the different parts here for our decals. Then rest of the assembly, it's kind of strange they put that there, but we have our landing gear going in, wheel well covers, other air brakes, and the pylons, as well as the weapons. Here are the weapons systems going on, fuel tanks, and those are the different options for what you can have on those different rails. Here's the parts listing and the other parts listing. They do also give us this painting guide. And here's the other option. This is the Russian version. So all in all, fairly detailed model, some really good decals, and it'll be a great build.